Yo, if you're a Muslim, please don't request up. If you are a Muslim, please do not request up. Only request, sorry. Only request if you are a non-Muslim.
Yo.
Is that a Discord sound I heard in the back?
Yeah, I just hung up. I was on a call with my friends.
You were on a call with your friends?
Yeah.
Which call is that?
What do you mean?
Like, what do you guys talk about with your friends on Discord?
We were just playing some games.
Playing some games?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Okay. How can I help you?
So, honestly, I just had some questions about Islam because I've been learning a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I already spoken with Cora, but she had to drop me because I was taking too long. But I've heard about the angel Gabriel thing, but where I heard that he pressed him and stuff. Could you just explain that a little bit?
What is there to explain?
The violence of the angel.
Violence? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, we must not be reading the same thing. I didn't see any violence. Where's the violence?
Cause it says that he pressed him and didn't he want to jump off of a mountain afterwards?
No.
Like a cliff?
No, that's not authentic. So where's the violence? Sorry, you said there's violence. Where's the violence? I'm very interested.
Didn't it say that the angel pressed him several times?
Yeah, how's that violent? You said there's violence. You almost had me thinking of all kinds of scenarios in my head when you said violence. So
How was that not violent?
what's violent about it? Pressed his chest, told him to recite 3 times. He started.
I don't think that
recited the Quran for him.
Standard.
Oh, what's the biblical standard?
Wait, my bad. You cut off. Could you say that again?
You said there was a biblical standard to angel appearances. What's that? I don't recall a standard existing in the Bible.
No angel of
all
has
angelic
that before, that's what I
appearance.
mean.
They have in Daniel chapter 8, in Daniel chapter 10, in Genesis, in Ezekiel, in Isaiah, all over.
Let's read one if that's fine.
Sure, go to Daniel chapter 10 for me.
Or let me go there.
Go to Daniel chapter 10. And let's see. Here, verse 7. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men who were with me did not see the vision. So this is when the angel appears to him. But a great trembling fell upon them. 1 second, hold on. I'm just going to continue reading this. A great trembling fell upon them, and they fled, and they hid themselves. So I was left alone and saw this great vision, and no strength was left in me. My radiant appearance was fearfully changed, and I retained no strength. Then I heard the sound of his words, and as I heard the sound of his words, I fell on my face in deep sleep with my face to the ground. So Daniel here says that when he saw this great vision, everybody around him was terrorized, and he was so shocked that he fell unconscious. Is that violent enough for you?
I mean, I've never heard of that. I don't know what to say. Wow, man.
You don't know what to say?
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
does it fulfill the standard?
I guess, yeah, I don't see that much of an issue with it now. But I did have some more questions, if that's fine.
All right, what's the question?
So I'm not too familiar with this, sorry, but like I've heard of like Sam Shimon and others talk about like prophecies, for example, in the Old Testament. I think like Isaiah 53, I believe,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, like doesn't it prophesy like the dying Messiah for our sins?
No, doesn't talk about the Messiah in Isaiah 53.
Who is it talking about?
It's talking about Israel.
How? It does not sound like Israel, man.
Oh, what doesn't sound like Israel?
Doesn't it say like pierced, or is that
No,
something else?
says wounded.
Well, could you tell me why that is Israel?
Can you tell me why it's not? It says it's Israel. It calls
Where?
the servant Israel over 8 times.
Where?
In second Isaiah, from Isaiah 40 up until Isaiah 52. It says it in Isaiah 41. It says it in Isaiah 42 in the Septuagint. It says in Isaiah 43. It says in Isaiah 46 or 45, I believe. It says in Isaiah 47. It says in Isaiah 49. It says it all over.
Well, what about where it says like the virgin will be conceived? Isaiah 7:14, right?
So it doesn't say the virgin will be conceived. It says the virgin is pregnant and she will give birth. And it doesn't even say virgin, it says the young woman. The Hebrew is ha'alma. Ha'alma, ha is the definite article. Alma is the feminine form of young man, young woman. The young woman is already pregnant in the time of Isaiah, and she will give birth. Guess
What
what?
about, like,
The child
the
is born in the
Emmanuel
next
part?
chapter.
What about like the Emmanuel, the name Emmanuel?
What about Emmanuel?
Isn't Jesus called Emmanuel?
No, Jesus is never called Emmanuel. And as a matter of fact, the verse says, and she will call him Emmanuel. Matthew changes it to, and they will call him Emmanuel.
Alright, so now I would like to ask you this, but it might be off topic, if that's fine. But like I wanted to know, you believe Islam to be true?
Why I believe Islam to be true?
Yeah.
Okay, so Cora didn't go through, through all of that with you?
Nah, she didn't have enough time, unfortunately.
You said you spent a long time on Cora. Were you guys just chit-chatting, or
Yeah.
what were you doing with Cora?
Yeah, it was 45 minutes. We are just going through like prophecies and all sorts of things in the Bible and stuff.
Okay, brother. All right, what do you want to know? You asked why I think Islam is true, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so you asked me a vague question. I'm going to respond vaguely. I think Islam is true because the evidence suggests that it's the best possible explanation of the observable world and the unobservable world. I think there is sufficient evidence that establishes the truthfulness of Islam, that corroborates the truthfulness of Islam, whether it be miracles, whether it be mass transmission or massively transmitted miracles, whether it be prophecies, foreshadows of the coming of the Prophet, prophecies that the Prophet himself makes, and so on and
Yeah,
so
I want to
forth.
get into like prophecies, for example. I like prophecies.
Okay, the prophecy of the siege of Baghdad, the Prophet describes that an event that took place 600 years after his passing in great detail.
But what I have heard, because like I've definitely asked some Christians, like if Islam does prophesy, wouldn't that make it true? But then if you want me to get the verse, I can go ahead. But like they said something about in Deuteronomy that says like not only a prophecy makes up like the prophet, like false prophets can make prophecies.
False prophets who are worshiping a different God, who have incorrect doctrine.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it can't refer to Islam, is what you're saying.
Yes, brother. It cannot refer to Islam.
Well, what about like about the angel thing? What about like Galatians? You know, the Galatians 1:8.
Okay, what about Galatians? If we
It
preach
says like,
a different
yeah,
gospel, then let them be accursed.
yeah.
What about it?
Well, wouldn't that mean that the angel that came to Muhammad, there was a chance that it could have been an angel preaching a false gospel or like a false message?
No, it means Paul really thought his gospel was the only possible gospel, and that the others, such as the apostles, had a false gospel. And that if anybody preached a different gospel from the gospel Paul preaches, that Paul really thinks God will curse them. But we
All right.
don't give a rat's ass about what Paul says, because Paul is a liar and he himself has a false gospel. Do you even know the context of that passage?
No.
Okay. What false gospel is Paul talking about in that passage?
Could you tell me?
He's talking about the false gospel of the Judaizers, the false gospel of James and the apostles of Christ, that they had a false gospel.
Whoa. Oh yeah, what I did really want to know about was I've heard like you and the servant before talking about like the wine thing, the vine tree or something.
Sorry?
Like I believe it was like you said like a false prophecy or something that Paul made or something.
A false prophecy that Paul made? No, I think you're
Yeah,
mixing.
you and the servant.
So the false prophecy that Paul made is about the imminent coming, the imminent apocalypse.
Whoa. Didn't prophecy Paul also make the prophecy about the shipwreck?
In the book of Acts?
Yeah.
Yeah, none of that is historical. It's just a later author making Paul the hero of his own book.
Alright, so I've heard you say that there's no prophecies about Jesus in the Old Testament.
Nada. Zero.
Not even like, don't you believe that he's the Messiah though?
Yeah, I believe he's a Messiah.
So you don't think that he would be prophesied
No,
in the scripture?
no, he's prophesied. My Messiah is prophesied. Your conception of Messiah is not.
What do you mean?
Your idea of the Messiah is not prophesied.
How? Don't we both
All right,
believe
so can
that?
you show me where the Torah says there's a dying, rising Savior, mythological man God who's going to come, get crucified on a stick, and we're going to eat his body like cannibals and drink his blood every Sunday? Where does it say that?
I think it's in the Psalm something.
All right, where in Psalm 22 does it say we're going to eat the flesh of God and drink his blood after he gets smoked on a stick? Because last time I checked, Psalm says that no man can ransom another man. Psalm says that God can't sleep, God can't die.
But he did those things in his human nature.
Doesn't matter. He's still God, and he carried out those actions.
Yes, but like I understand what you're trying to say, but if he did it in his human nature, would it?
It doesn't change It doesn't change the fact that it's God who did those things. In his pineapple nature, watermelon nature, doesn't matter. It's God who did
Yeah,
those
but-
things, right?
He did it according to his human nature.
Nice, man. Nice semantic wordplay. Doesn't matter. It's God who did those things, right? Is it God who slept? It's either God slept or he didn't. Did God sleep?
It's a hard question, man.
Did God sleep?
You would have to like dive into
All right,
it,
let's
man.
dive into. Let's dive deep, man. Did God sleep?
And Jesus did in his humanity.
Look, I didn't ask that. Did God sleep?
No.
Okay, then
God
Jesus
cannot
isn't God. Then Jesus isn't God because he slept.
In his human nature.
That's fine, but it's God who slept in his human nature, right?
Jesus, who did it in his
Jesus, who
humanity,
is
but-
God, slept. In whatever nature it was, in whatever way it was, he slept, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine I said, I, the Orthodox Muslim, never lie. I never lie. I will never lie.
Okay.
Then I told you, hey man, I'm your dad. I'm your biological father. Did I lie?
Yeah.
I only lied according to my lying nature. Only to my lying nature. So the first statement is true. I never lie. Because when I lie, it's only in accordance with my lying nature.
Doesn't make sense.
I know it doesn't. You're getting one step closer, brother. So when it says God will never sleep, God cannot sleep in any way. If you think God slept, then you're definitely not believing in the Torah. You're believing in something else.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't believe in the Torah?
No, I'm saying like God cannot sleep. It says that.
All right. Do you think Jesus slept?
Yeah.
So you think God slept? You literally
Man,
think
no.
God slept.
It's like
You think God went to sleep. You think God took a nap, my brother. You think God took a nap. You think God was dreaming, lucid dreaming maybe.
you can't like
Did
for
God
questions
did
like
God take a nap?
No.
God never took a nap? All right, so Jesus must not be God because he was taking a lot of naps.
These are hard questions.
I
man.
know, brother. I
gotta-
know they're hard questions. You want to know why? Because you are in a religious system that forces you to believe in such absurd ideas like a sleeping, dying, crucified God. Can you believe it? In another world, you would think that those things belong in a Marvel comic book, right? Maybe belong in a new TV series or a new movie upcoming. Dude, you literally believe in a dying, bleeding, eating, drinking, pissing, defecating God.
But that was him showing his love to us.
He was showing
His mercy.
he was showing his love to you by taking a dump as God. Come on, dude. My brother. I'm telling you, bro, look, whatever you say, man. If you want to say that your God took a dump and that's his way of showing love, then that's fine. I mean, look, when my newborn baby fills up his diaper, that's his way of showing love, I guess. But that's a baby, that's a newborn. That's God Almighty.
That was like part of the process of him coming to the earth. Incarnation.
Sorry?
That was part.
One more time?
He had to do it, man. That's how he lived.
He had to take a shit?
Yeah, that's how a human lives.
God had to take a poop?
Well, he was both human and God, man. He was
I
both
know.
human and
I
God.
know. That's why you think God took a poop, right? Let me ask you, did God clean his butt after he took a poop? Or did
Yeah.
he just do toilet paper?
I mean,
Maybe leaves at that time. How did God clean his backside? Do you think? Do you think he was like wiping with leaves? Like, did he use water? Like, how did God wipe his back? How did he clean himself after he did it?
I don't know, man. Those are like irrelevant questions.
I think they're very relevant. I think that if you believe in a God,
Why?
because dude, you think God slept, and the Bible says God will never sleep. That's why.
No, again, man. It's in his human nature, bro.
Yeah, and I don't lie only except in my lying nature.
Man. But like those are like two different things though. You can't compare them.
No, they're the same thing.
How? You can't compare like God with something else. You agree?
I'm not comparing God. I'm comparing your absurd answer, your absurd ad hoc justification for why God slept. It's like God can't sleep unless he does. That's all you're saying. God will never sleep unless he does sleep. Sounds like a contradiction to me. Does God sleep or not?
No.
Okay. Did Jesus sleep?
Yes.
He can't be God. Because he slept. He slept, he died, he ate food.
Never thought about that.
It's so simple, right? Just think about it. Humans sleep, humans eat, humans eat tacos, tortillas, humans eat all kinds of things, pizza. God doesn't. Does God have a favorite food?
Probably.
Probably. God has a favorite food?
I mean, not God, but Jesus, yeah.
Oh, so Jesus isn't God, man. There you go. So
But,
are you ready to denounce that a man is God now?
I mean, I don't know if I can make a decision that quick.
Oh, it is that quick, brother. It's simple. It's common sense. Really, that's all it is. Man, eat, drink, poop. God, no eat, no drink, no poop. Powerful. Man, weak.
Let's say Christianity is false, then why do they have like all the miracles, like the Eucharistic miracles and all that? Why do they have that then?
Eucharistic
Why do we got
miracles.
that? But yeah,
So, just for everybody to know, 700 people here, the Eucharist is when Christians eat God and drink his blood. Right?
yeah.
Okay. There are miracles that happen when people go to eat God.
Pretty much.
Interesting. And so, what's the miracle when they drink the blood, or when they drink the wine? There's spots of blood in it that form,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
that's supposed to be the real blood of Jesus, right?
Something like that.
Okay. So these miracles are happening to prove that Christians are cannibals, right? Who eat flesh and drink blood?
Cannibalism. That's a very big word.
Cannibalism is the consumption of human flesh.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Do
Yeah.
Christians consume human flesh?
Yeah.
So Christians are cannibals, religiously cannibals.
Yeah. I don't see the issue.
Are you a cannibal?
Yeah.
All right, my brother. Well, I guess that sums up the conversation, brother. Thank you so
But
much
you
for
s-
coming. I appreciate it.
Come on, man. But you said like
No, I'm done, brother. There's no more conversation. You want to be stuck. You want to be slow. Sorry to say, you want to worship a dead man god and eat his flesh. You said you want to be a cannibal, brother. I can't help you, brother. I physically, literally, spiritually cannot help you, brother. You need to help yourself. I can't do anything
But-
for you.
technically we're not cannibal eating God. No.
I know, brother. Look, brother, I can't help you. I'm the wrong guy for you. You need to go and sit in the corner of the room and I don't know, man, do some contemplation, do some yoga, do something, man. You're lost, dude. Like, I really don't understand how you could sit here with a straight face and tell me that you're a cannibal and that you believe in a God that sleeps when the passage clearly says
I don't
God.
believe that God
All
will
right,
sleep.
so then you don't believe Jesus is God.
But
Because he slept, right?
if I don't, then why can I could just become a Unitarian Christian.
All right, well, that's one step forward. Are you a Unitarian Christian now?
I mean, let's say I do become one, all right? Let's say that. But
No, I don't want to. Are you one? Step by step. Slowly, we'll get there. Do you reject that
can't
a man
just,
is your God?
yeah,
Okay, so Jesus is not God.
man.
Do you believe? Okay, let's try slowly. Do you believe that an animal is your God?
Animal? No,
Do you believe that for example, a mouse is your God, a cow is your God, goat?
no,
No, right? Okay. Do you believe your God is a stone, an inanimate object?
no.
Good. You see how you just answered so easily and so intuitively, you didn't have to think about it? Do you believe that a
Yeah.
man is your God?
No.
Is Jesus a man?
Well, he came as a man, yeah.
Doesn't answer the question. Is he a man?
Yes.
Okay. So repeat after me. Jesus is not God.
I can't, man.
All right. So that's your problem, man. That's your problem. You
But
gotta figure that out.
you can't
You gotta.
expect me to make a decision that quick.
It is that quick, brother.
I gotta think
Just
about
like
it.
if I asked you, is your God a piece of bacon? No. What the heck? Is your God a mouse? No. Took the split second you made the decision. Is your God any kind of animal? No. Is your God a man? No. Okay, so you've denied that Jesus is God, sir. It's simple, man. You don't. It's not a decision you need to make, brother. It's like this, man. It's quick.
But wait. All right.
It's so
Sure.
simple, brother. It's so simple. It's so easy. It's so intuitive. You know what I mean?
I mean, get you.
Let's go chronologically.
All right.
The first gospel written is what?
I'm not sure.
Mark.
All right.
Yes?
Yeah, sure.
Can you show me anything in the Gospel of Mark where the author or anybody in the narrative implies that Jesus pre-existed his human body?
Not that I know.
One
of.
second. I don't even want to insult you guys and call you crosslickers. I'm going to hold back. For the below IQ Christians of my comments, Matthew is not the first gospel written. It's Mark. Traditionally, it's been believed to be Matthew. That's called Matthean priority. But it's been consensus for over 200 years that Mark is the earliest gospel. All right? So please don't. Anyways, yes. Can you show me anywhere in Mark, our earliest gospel, where there is an implication from the author or anybody in the narrative that Jesus pre-exists his human body?
You answer because I'm not too sure.
No,
Sorry.
brother, this is not for me, brother. This question is not for me, it's for you. Let's start chronologically. When we read the Gospels, when we read the New Testament text, we need to read in a horizontal way. We want to let the author speaks for himself. We don't want to read the text without pre-assumptions in our mind, because that takes away from what the author is saying. So that's why we're going to read horizontally. In Mark, is there any notion, implication, hint of the pre-existence of Jesus before his human body?
No.
Good. There isn't. In Mark, is there any hint or implication that Jesus is God?
I'm just to like get to the point. I'm pretty sure it's not in any except for like John, because they're saying in
Good,
chat John
good.
1:14.
Good. So this is how we read horizontally. Mark, who's a first century author, who's writing a biographical account about the life of Jesus. He doesn't believe Jesus is God. There's no implication in his work that Jesus is God. Hell, there's no even implication that Jesus pre-existed in any divine way. Okay, let's move on to Matthew. Is there any implication, inference, hint in the Gospel of Matthew that Jesus pre-exists his human body?
Not that I know of.
Good. Let's move on to Luke. Is there any notion, implication that Jesus pre-exists his human body in Luke?
Again, not that I know of yet.
Good. So the only implication that exists that Jesus pre-existed his human body is in the Gospel of John, which happens to be our latest gospel. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Good. In Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Jesus's main message is what?
The good news
Yeah, what is the good news?
that he like died and resurrected.
No.
Is that not the good news?
Literally read the very first verses of Mark's gospel.
What's the good news, man?
Repent, for the kingdom of God is coming near, and believe in the gospel. All over Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Jesus' overarching message is the coming kingdom of God. Over Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Jesus preaches short and quick sayings, easy to remember, teaches parables, and rarely speaks about himself. He rarely speaks about himself. In Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Jesus does generally the same things. The skeleton of his life is generally the same, with some variation of detail between the three. John, not a single parable. 80% of the things that happen in Jesus' life in Matthew, Mark, and Luke are nowhere in John. And when there's overlap, the significant difference, or the difference is significant in detail. In John, Jesus speaks in long discourses that sometimes last 3 chapters. In John, Jesus speaks about himself mainly. I am, and 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 I am. I am the light of the world. I am this, the bread of life. I am and I am statements. His main message is to believe in him, who he was, that he came from heaven, and that through him you have eternal life. That's the main message in John. So now tell me, if we read these gospels separately and let the author speak for himself, are they saying the same thing?
From what you said, no.
They're not saying the same thing. Impossible. The message is different. The overarching themes are different, and that's normal because each author is independent and they believe different things about Jesus. And that's exactly what we would expect. If an independent author wrote a biography about who he believes is the Messiah in accordance to his own views. Now, when you read them with the pre-assumption that this is scripture, this is the Bible inspired, they're all saying the same thing, and we're gonna make them say the same thing. That's when you strip away the author of what he's trying to say, of his authorial intent and integrity, and start interpreting things in an ad hoc way, motivated by your dogma that is pre-assumed. You understand?
Yeah, so what you're trying to get at is that the divinity of Jesus isn't consistent throughout the Gospels, is what you're trying to get at.
Nothing about Jesus, or I wouldn't say nothing actually. Most things are not consistent.
John, like you've heard of like the in the beginning was the word.
Yes, that's a John 9 prologue.
So so you want me to like say that Jesus isn't God because of what you said, right?
Brother, I want you to say Jesus isn't God because I'm guessing you're not mentally challenged, and
No.
you're a regular person. Because anybody who's not mentally deprived and intellectually bankrupt will know that a man, pooping man, is not their God.
Yeah.
It's that simple, brother.
But if I do say it, all the people that I know are gonna like be very disappointed with me, man. It's gonna mess up my life.
And what did Jesus say? I came to bring families together. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
No, it's not what he said. It's the opposite.
What'd he say?
He said, I came to bring mother against daughter and father against son. To cause division. Why? Because when you follow the truth, it's going to come at a cost. And sometimes the price is heavy and sometimes it's not. Depends from person to person. But for the sake of the truth, you have to be ready to endure. Because the cost is too high.
For me, it's very heavy.
Is it heavier than
Big
going
price.
to hell?
For sure not.
Do you do business?
No.
Let this be your first business lesson. You're going to choose the cheaper cost or the heavier cost?
Cheaper.
And which one is that?
The truth, but
No,
I'm
it's going against your family. Because that's less severe than going to hell. And meeting
But-
God on the day of judgment and tell him, hey man, I thought that you are a Jewish man, 5'5", pooped, and I thought you were God at the same time.
But I just like I can't like think about that, you know, because I can't even like process my family being in hell and me being in heaven. I can't think about that.
Well, it doesn't have to be like that, man. You're gonna be your gateway to, or their gateway to paradise.
I don't think that would happen. They wouldn't. Let's just say Islam is true. They wouldn't listen. Let's say it is. They wouldn't listen.
You don't know that, but if they don't, then you do your best and you try your hardest. But the Quran says that on that day, it's going to be a very tough day. So tough that the mother will run away from her own child for her own benefit. She will be pleased and happy that her child is thrown in hell as long as she is given a portion of paradise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ. On that day, the person will run away from his wife, mother, father, brother, Because it's going to be a heavy day, man.
Wow. One thing that will convince me for sure is you showing me Islam in the Bible.
What does that mean? What does that look like?
Like, for example,
Sure.
yeah,
The honest person, all it takes is one piece of proof or one piece of evidence. Yes?
I guess.
Because if I show you one, you're not going to say, okay, this is good, but give me another one.
I mean,
Then we'll keep going on forever.
okay, I'll just take two, alright?
We'll take two, so one is not enough.
I mean, one, like, listen, man, one is good, but you always want more, you know?
You always want more. You never want just one more. You want infinity more. But the honest
Nah,
person
I
is
ain't good.
satisfied with one. Listen, I'm testing your integrity here. If the verse says that Islam is true, then this should be enough.
If it's that straightforward, for sure.
Yeah, of course, straightforward. Of course.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, go to Genesis 17. Read from verse 18 to 20.
Yeah, my bad. Could you pull it up for me? That would be better. Like, you read it out.
One sec.
Alright, got you.
Look at this guy, man. Chat, tell him to give me priority because I'm gonna debunk him. Dude, I'm gonna bring you up after this, don't worry. And you better live up to the hype, man. You better live up to the hype. All right, so Genesis chapter 18. Sorry, Genesis chapter 17, verse 18 to 20. All right, if you go there, let's pull it up. Abraham makes a prayer to God, and he says, and it says, and Abraham said to God, if only Ishmael may live before your face. Now, before I continue reading, what does it mean biblically for somebody to live before God's face or to walk before God?
Like, close to God.
To worship God, right? To be obedient and submit to Him. And we know that from Genesis 17, verse 1, where God says to Abraham, be perfect, or walk before me and be perfect. Or walk before my face, literally in the Hebrew. So to walk before some God or to live before God is to live in closeness and in obedience to God, right?
Yeah.
So what does Abraham ask? I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his descendants after him. And as for Ishmael, so now the question is, when was this actually fulfilled? When did the Arabs, who are the descendants of Ishmael, become a nation obedient and close to God's heart?
Wait. Is the descendants of Ishmael are Arabs?
No, they're Japanese, brother. Yes,
Man.
they're Arabs, of course.
If I don't know, man. If it was that straightforward, I feel like everyone who read that would be Muslim.
You haven't answered my question, man.
All right, could you
So
say it again?
when did the Arabs become a nation that God loves and are close to God's heart?
A nation that's obedient to God.
Yeah. For context,
Well, that
the Ishmaelites worshipped idols for all of their history until the 7th century. They were idol worshippers.
so
They burnt their newborns. They buried them, unalived their daughters, unalived each other. When did the Ishmaelites become a great nation that worships God?
well, you said the 7th century, so I would say around the start.
Do you
of
have
the
another alternative that we could speculate about? Is there maybe
Not
another
on the top of my head.
option? Are there are there other options that we're weighing, considering? Or is there one identifiable moment in history where this takes place? One moment that changes the course of history, that changes everything after it.
Yeah.
Well, let's do some history now. In the 7th century, one messenger comes by the name of the Prophet Muhammad. Muhammad means the praised one. And just as a side point, it's not too deep, but as a side point, Muhammad has a numerical value of 94.
What do you mean?
Do you know about gematria?
No.
So each letter corresponds to a number.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
It's very well known, right? And words, names, stuff like that, they have numerical values. So you take all the letters, each letter has a number that corresponds to when you add them up together.
Or
Good? In Genesis, when it says, I will bless him exceedingly, it says literally in the Hebrew, I will bless him exceedingly. Twice. It's redundant. In Hebrew, it's bimyod. You know what the numerical value of that? It's also 94. Coincidence? Maybe. But anyways, let's do history now. In the 7th century, it is the first identifiable and distinguished event in history where the Ishmaelites actually become a significant people. Where they become a people that the whole world is looking at and the whole world is talking about and discussing. Because in the 7th century, a man by the name of Muhammad comes, and at the age of 40, he claims to have received divine revelation. And he says that this angel that he saw gave him words from God. And that he is in continuity with the previous prophets. The very God of Israel sent him. The God of the prophets before him, the God of Moses and the God of Jesus. You see, Israel had many prophets according to the Jewish rabbinic tradition. There's over 1 million prophets that God sent into the world. Now, with one Arab prophet, and you know, at this time, God took away the covenants from the Jews because they rejected their Messiah. So at this time, the Jews are still a small bunch. They don't have a land. They've been oppressed by the Christians for the past 600 years because they were kicked out. After the Bar Kokhba revolt in the 130s happened, when a man by the name of Shimon Bar Kokhba claimed to be the Messiah, established a Jewish state for 2 years, then the Romans absolutely destroyed him and chopped his head off. And the Jews were sent packing out of Jerusalem into the four corners of the earth. And they were allowed to come to Jerusalem and look from far away, from out the outskirts, and cry, looking at their destroyed temple that the Romans destroyed, which Jesus prophesied. Jerome, a church father, tells us that the Jews are so cursed, they are the unalivers of God, that if they were identified anywhere near Jerusalem, they would be chopped up. They were charged money to come from far away to look and cry at their temple. They're cursed. Anyway, look at the state of the Jewish people. God rejected them, disowned them, took away their temple, their most precious religious symbol. It is the place in which all of the religious obligations, almost all of the religious Jewish obligations took place. And that was taken away. No temple, no Torah. Do you understand? It's significant. Then you have Christianity. Christianity came, the triumph of Pauline Christianity. Paul of Tarsus preaches a version of Christianity that sounds very nice to the non-Jews. You don't have to get circumcised. You don't have to keep the Torah. Everybody's equal, Jew and Gentile, tomato, tomato. For all you are one in Jesus Christ. If you get circumcised, Christ benefits you nothing. So it's okay, come. We also believe in a dying, rising Savior, demigod. We also believe in the Evangelion, the good news. These words were very familiar to a pagan Gentile audience. As a matter of fact, in Acts chapter 14, when Paul and Barnabas are preaching in Lystra, a Greek city, and Paul allegedly does a miracle, what happens? The people around, what do they say? It's recorded in the New Testament. Their words are recorded. What do they say? The gods have come down to us in human form. It seems as if Christians switched places with these Roman pagans. Because ironically, it's Christians who now say that God has come down in human form. But anyways, fast forward all these years of corruption, lawless religion, worshiping the Trinity, saying that God has a son. And one Arab prophet, just one man, one guy, who comes from a people who are undistinguished in history. They didn't have a huge empire. They didn't have advanced military. They didn't have big buildings and castles. They lived in the deserts. They ate dates and leaves. They had tribes and they went to war with each other. They worshipped idols, 365 of them. What happens? One prophet. Now, you see, these people are surrounded by the greatest empires of history. On one side, the Persian Empire, on the other side, the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
These are the biggest empires of history, the strongest empires. And the Arabs sit right in the middle in the desert. Nobody even wants to go into the desert because there's nothing there. What if I told you that within 70 years, the Arabs go on to control more land than the Roman Empire did in 800 years? What if I told you that the people who hated each other and unalived each other for hundreds of years over small disputes, the Arabs, were united under one motto, La ilaha illallah. There's none worthy of worship except God alone.
Yeah, I agree.
He took all these people, a lost, misguided people who unalived each other, brought them together under one rule. With ripped clothing, they entered Jerusalem. They entered Yemen. They entered Damascus. They entered Lebanon, Armenia, Syria. Destroyed the Roman armies, destroyed the Persian armies. They took all of Persia. They took North Africa. They took East Africa. They went all the way to Spain and controlled it for 800 years before the Reconquista happened. They took India. They took Central Asia. They even reached Eastern Europe. Bosnia, Turkey, modern-day Turkey, Bosnia, Albania, Macedonia. They had Cyprus, and until today, half of Cyprus is Muslim. They had Malta, a small island off of the coast of Italy.
But I kind of feel like it's a Arab religion still. I don't know why. I just feel like it's an Arab religion.
And that's the misconception, right? Because did you know that only 15% of Muslims today are Arab? And
I did not expect
only
that.
15% of Muslims today are Arab. Now get this in your head. God says all the way from Genesis that the ideal state of the world is when God reveals himself to all nations. It won't just be Israel. God will soon establish a kingdom where all nations will know him. This is in Jeremiah, this is in Isaiah, this is in Genesis. This is all over. This is the ideal plan. Okay? Who established this? The worship of the one God of Abraham, recognized by the Assyrians, the Egyptians, by the Berbers, by the Arabs, by the Europeans, by the Africans, by the East Africans. Who brought all of these enemy nations of God to know God and to worship God in one holy tongue, as it says in Zephaniah, on that day, the nations will come to the Lord and they will worship him shoulder to shoulder in one, guess what? In one Leshon HaKodesh, in one holy language. What system brings all the nations of the world to worship the God of Abraham shoulder to shoulder in one holy language?
Well, yeah, pray shoulder to shoulder, right?
Am I quoting you the Quran? No. Am I quoting you Arabic 7th century sources? No. I'm quoting the Bible. Now, if you look at how the Christians and Jews reacted to this, because everything was happening fast, you could imagine. These guys come out of nowhere. And within a blink of an eye, these guys are controlling the whole world. What the heck happened? It was so significant that the Christians writing in the 7th century, many Syriac documents, like the letters of Ishayab, like the writing of Thomas the Presbyter, the Syriac apocalypses that we have, the Doctrina Yaqubi, which is in Greek, many documents of the 7th century say that it's the end of the world. God has risen up the Ishmaelites to come and punish us. These guys came out of nowhere and they're taking all the world, and God is helping them do this. Obviously, how they saw it is that they're being punished because they're Christian.
But like, how about now? It's not like that anymore. Like all the countries are like weak, like Palestine, Sudan.
That's right.
Like,
the countries are weak, and that very thing is prophesied by the prophet. One day,
what do you say?
The prophet said to his companions, there will come a day where the Muslims will be so weak. And the companions say to the prophet, oh, is it because of our small numbers? That makes sense. Companions are, there's barely any Muslims at the time. So, they don't know what's going to happen. Is it because of our small numbers, O Prophet of Allah? He says, rather, no, you will be large number. That's the opposite. You will be large. But you will love the dunya and hate the akhirah. Meaning, these are Arabic terms, you will fall in love with the worldly life. You will ignore God and His commandments. And you will hate the akhirah. You will hate the afterlife. Your focus will go from conquering nations and spreading monotheism, making God's religion prevail. After you do that, your focus will shift and go somewhere else. Now we're focused on other things. Now we're focused on concerts and focused on all kinds of things that don't matter. Okay? This is what happened. But notice that even at the time of weakness and after the fall of the Ottoman caliphates in World War I, the Muslims were the weakest they were ever. There was no more caliphate for the first time in 1300 years. Imagine, for the first time in 1300 years, there is no caliphate. This is only recent events. We're part of history. Okay? And now, although we're weak, Islam somehow is still the most dominant religion, the fastest growing religion, even at a time of weakness. How's that? How is it that Islam is the most demonized religion, but it's still the fastest growing religion? And don't say, well, you have a lot of birth rates. That's true. But it's also the fastest growing religion in convert. Not just in birth rates. And birth rates are a beautiful thing. That's what the Bible and the Quran both say. We are put on this earth to multiply, to raise righteous children and teach them about God. So it's a good thing to multiply. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, all of this goes back to Genesis. Now, the Genesis 17 passage is not the only thing I could show you. There's many. We'd be here all night. But it's one of my favorites. Why? Because it's something in relation to history which we cannot deny. Because these events are so demonstrable historically. God promises these lands to His descendants and to His people. And the people who end up controlling those lands are the Muslims. Go read Genesis. God promised Abraham lands. He said, your righteous descendants will inhabit these lands. The Israelites never did. You know who did? It's the Muslims. By the Arabs. They're the ones who controlled those lands that were promised to Abraham. They still do. Till today.
Wow, man.
So just think about it. God, the whole time, wanted to establish the universal Gentile salvation. Not just for the Jews, but for everybody. And historically, who best fulfills this? Because there are many claimants, but who best fulfills this? The Jews? There's like 12 million of those guys. Oh, creeping up, awkward, antisocial, stick to each other like aliens.
But didn't Christianity also have like a pretty fast spread?
Yeah, Christianity spread, Trinitarianism, the worship of three gods, lawlessness, and was supported not by divine authority, but rather was supported by secular power. You see the difference between the rise of other religions and the rise of Islam is one thing, that Islam is unique. The rise of Islam is completely owed to Islam. Meaning the rise of the early Islamic empire was a result of Islam manifesting. The rise of Christianity was a result of an already existing power that happened to have one of its emperors convert, which then happened to grow Christianity to the east and the west. Same thing with Zoroastrianism. A secular power that already existed, Cyrus. And with the help of this secular power, you have the growth of Christianity. Same thing with Buddhism. But with Islam, and this is what historians say, I could bring you quotes. The growth of the early Islamic empire is only a result of revelation, not a result of an already existing secular power that happens to support and endorse that religion, and then it grows. Islam's growth is owed to Islam. Islam's military success is owed to Islam. And as Umar, one of the companions, the disciples of the Prophet, and the second caliph, says in a very famous quote, we were a people who are very low, dishonored. And Allah blessed us with Islam, and He has honored us and elevated us. So we became elevated and honored. And if we shall take any other way of life, then Allah will dishonor us and bring us low again. So the success of Islam is only due to Islam. It's due to the companions, the early followers, who put their lives and fought armies that looked impossible. In one account, a Christian account, 300,000 soldiers against 10,000 Muslims. Now, admittedly, that number is probably inflated. Okay? But this comes from a Christian source. This comes from a Syriac Christian source in the 7th century.
But wasn't like the spread kind of like violent because like the Copts in Egypt and
Brother, we have documents where Christians praise the Muslim rulers for bringing justice to the land. They praise Muawiyah, who's one of the companions of the Prophet, call him a great and just king. We have Christian witness who say they didn't destroy our churches. They didn't touch our places of worship. They allowed us to continue. They only came to charge us the tax and left us to do our own thing. Now, when it comes to the Copts, it's the opposite. Because when the Eastern Romans, you see the Copts, they reject the Council of Chalcedon. Yes?
yeah.
Now that's heresy for Eastern Orthodox. And you know who control and in power of the Byzantine Roman Empire? The Eastern Orthodox, who were Chalcedonians. So when the Chalcedonians were butchering the non-Chalcedonian Coptic Christians, it is the Muslims who saved the Coptic Christians from other Eastern Orthodox. The Copts were saved by the Muslims from their Christian brethren who wanted to unalive them and burn them at stake because they rejected Chalcedon. The Romans brutalized the Copts.
So why, like, whenever you talk to the Copts or like Egyptians, they always will, blame it on Islam. You never hear them talk about that.
You want to know why? Because Egypt, the once center of Christianity, Alexandria, one of the most important cities in Christendom. Egypt was very important in early Christianity. Islam came, Islam became very popular, and now Egypt, that has the largest Arab population, over 110 million people, 90% of those guys are Muslim.
Muslim.
10% of them are Christians, about 15 to 20 million. According to Copts, they sometimes inflate numbers. Maybe the real number is lower than that. But let's grant it 15, 20 million Copts. Now, the Muslims didn't force convert anybody. How could a native people who are Christian 1,000 years later be predominantly Muslim, if not mass conversion, if not the people accepted Islam?
But the stories that got passed down from family to family, that's what they're taught.
Well, that's what they're. I mean, look, if somebody came to my home country and spread a different religion there, that all 90% of my people adopted that new religion, I'd be very upset too.
Well,
I'd be
you're
very
Libyan,
upset.
you heard about the 21 cops.
Yeah. So if somebody came to Libya and spread a false religion, like let's say Sikhism or something, and 90% of my people became that religion, I would be so pissed, bro. I'd hate those guys because I would feel that they changed my identity. They changed my culture. They changed who I am, what my people are. So I understand where they're coming from. They feel like there's little of them now. They're not too many. Muslims are predominant population there. They feel like they have the right to be the predominant population. I get that. I see their point of view.
But you do know that they do get some miracles. You heard of the apparition of
Lady Zaytun?
Yeah.
Okay, brother. Look, now when it comes to Our Lady of Zaytun or any other apparition, right? We have to take this with a grain of salt. Why? Because if the theology is not up to par, then any miracle supporting this theology is dismissed. For example, have you heard of the Spanish Palmarian Catholic Church?
No.
So there's a city called Palomar in Spain. And in this city, there was allegedly a Marian apparition that appeared to hundreds of people. And Mary told them that the current pope is an anti-pope and an antichrist, and that he corrupted the Catholic religion and the Catholic Church. And that they should move their headquarters to Palomar and appoint a new pope. And that's what they did. There's eyewitnesses, hundreds of people saw it. Mary appeared to them. Now they have they have a pope. He has this golden chair. They carry him on this golden chair. They call him the true pope, right? And they think they're the true Catholic Church. Why? Because of a Marian apparition. You have Protestant churches, and these are documented, independently attested. You have this one example where Jesus apparently himself was seen visibly in a Pentecostal church, and he started walking around saying hi to everybody, and there was 100 eyewitnesses, and he would come every Sunday, and everybody would see him, and he would just be walking around. You even have
But
Mormons have apparitions. 20
you don't see
years.
stuff like that happening in Islam, though. You know.
Oh, you do, but I'm just 1 second. Let me just drive this point home.
I got you.
Mormons. There's a guy called Brigham Young. Okay, this guy was the leader of the Mormon leadership after Joseph Smith was shot dead. Okay. Within just 20 years after this event, we have over 15 independently written sources confirming that when Brigham Young was in that room and there was hundreds of people there was a kind of transfiguration where Joseph Smith was the one talking. Brigham Young took the form of Joseph Smith, the voice of Joseph Smith. And they saw Joseph Smith and they heard Joseph Smith. And this is attested by over 15 independently written sources just within 20 years. This is more independently attested than any other miracle. And it's a Mormon miracle. We have people today that say my grandparents were in that room in Utah. My grandparents in that room saw Joseph Smith. And they told us about it. Because Joseph Smith was only a couple hundred years ago. So you have all kinds of these phenomenons happening across different religious traditions. But because of this fact that all these phenomena happen across different religions that are contrary to one another, then these cannot be solely relied on. Just like Deuteronomy 13 says. He could do any miracle, any sign, any wonder, but if he's preaching a false God, then he's a false prophet. We apply the same exact methodology. As long as your doctrine is not sound, then any miracle is automatically dismissed.
So you're saying that like any religion can sort of get miracles like that?
Yes, they exist. These claims exist across traditions. Some have good evidence, some don't have good evidence, some have decent evidence. The point,
You think it's like
the point,
the work of the devil?
I don't know what work it is, okay? The point I'm making is, if the doctrine is not sound, then there's no reason to even consider the miracle. You understand?
All right.
So we first see if the doctrine is sound, if it's coherent. If the doctrine is sound and coherent, then we can move on to miraculous claims because they corroborate. You understand?
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Let me just explain that a little bit more so you understand it.
Yeah.
In the book of Exodus, when Moses and the magicians were in front of each other, what did Moses do? What was the miracle he did?
Was it like the leper's hand or like the hand?
Well, no, Moses had different signs, but I'm saying when he was competing with the magicians, what did Moses do?
I'm not sure.
Let's read it.
All right.
Because this is this is very important. Okay? Okay. So Exodus 7:10, yeah? Aaron casts down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Yes?
Yeah.
Then verse 12, because in the Quran it's Moses, here it's Aaron, right? Exodus 7:12. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents, But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. So Aaron, the miracle he did was throw a rod, it became a serpent, yeah?
Yeah.
Good. The servants of Pharaoh, the magicians, did the same exact thing. They threw their rods and they turned into serpents. But what was the difference? Aaron's rod snake swallowed up theirs.
Oh.
You understand?
I didn't know. Yeah.
But they did the same thing. So here, the question is, why does this make Aaron and Moses true and the servants of Pharaoh false if they were able to produce the same exact effect? You ever thought of that before?
No.
It's because in contrast to Pharaoh and his servants, Aaron and Moses had sound doctrine. They had trustworthy character.
The way you
They had-
explained it was
Right.
really good.
They
man.
were godly people. They were calling towards goodness. And in addition, they did the miracle, which shows they're not magicians because their character is contrary to that of a magician. You understand?
Yeah,
So if
I
these
get that.
guys are not magicians, how else are they bringing forth this miracle? Because they're preaching a true doctrine and they're from God. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So this is the difference between somebody who could bring forth a true effect and a false effect. One must be pre-qualified to begin with to be a prophet. If the pre-qualifications are not there, then whatever effect you bring does not matter. The Antichrist will bring people back to life. The Antichrist will change the weather. The Antichrist will do all kinds of things. But it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Because the Antichrist does not have the pre-qualification to begin with, nor the character, nor the aura to be truly from God.
Yeah, the way you explained it really helped me, man.
You understand?
But the the people in the chat don't seem to understand it, but I understand it, man.
Well, that's good. Like Candace Owens says, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
Yeah.
So, W Candace, I like that line. But yeah, brother, so what's holding you back from becoming a Muslim, man?
like I told you earlier, bro, like if I do like become a Muslim, you know, my whole life is like the trajectory of my life is like gonna shift like fully, man. It's like gonna shift.
Well, that's fine.
I just like I don't know if I can like handle that, you know?
You know, the companions, when they became Muslim at the very early stages, some of them hid their Islam because they were going through the same thing at even a more extreme, even more hostile environment. Because nowadays, you know, religion is not taken that serious in most households. It's our way, it's what we're raised with, but it's not taken that serious. Back in the 7th century, religion was taken very serious. You know, they came from idol worshiping households. And so letting go of that means letting go of your tribal link of everything. So they hid it. They hid their Islam out of fear for family issues, tribal issues, marriages, you name it. So if you feel like you want to accept the truth, but you feel like you're not ready to deal with the domestic consequences, the social consequences, then you don't have to tell a single soul that you're a Muslim, because only Allah knows you're a Muslim in your heart. You can continue living your life the same way. You try to stay away from that which is haram. You learn slowly, but you continue living your life the same exact way, except that now you are a muwahhid instead of a mushrik. And that's your ticket into paradise. The muwahhid is the one who singles out God in worship and tries to obey God to the best of his abilities. The mushrik is the one who associates partners with God, which gains him his destruction in the afterlife. So besides everything else, the most important thing is going from being a mushrik to being a muwahhid, testifying that there's no deity worthy of worship except the one God alone, and that Jesus is a servant and his messenger, and that Muhammad is a servant and his messenger. That's it.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Whenever like I came from the NLE Choppa video, you know, I was like, let me go see if this guy's alive. I was coming here to troll originally. I was gonna troll, but then you really changed my view, man. Cause
I'm with you, bro. You still there? Let's give him a minute.
yeah, my bad. I'm back.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
I gotta go soon, cause it's too loud and they're trying to sleep. But I'll tell you this, man. Give me like a week. I'll go do some research.
Brother, I could give you a week, no problem.
Yeah.
But I don't know if God is going to give you a week. That's not up for me to decide. He's the one who decides that. Me, I have no problem. Give you a week, 5 months, a year, 5 years. No problem, brother. It's fine with me. Right? The problem is, will God give you a week? Maybe he will, maybe he won't. We won't know. God takes the soul whenever he pleases. And when he takes the soul, there's no coming back. So I did my part, brother. I conveyed the message to you. And I hope I conveyed it in a proper manner.
Yeah.
Okay? In a manner that's pleasing to God. And hopefully you were able to understand what I am presenting you here. And it's up for you to either accept or reject. At the end of the day, you're the one who's going to stand in front of God and answer for that decision, not me. I'm going to answer for my own decision.
I'm just like, I'm kind of scared to do it right now, in front of all these people and stuff. I'm just like,
That's fine, brother. You don't have to do it in front of people. We could do it alone, me and you. You could follow me. I could help you through it. You don't even have to get on a call with me. I'll just send you what you need to say. You say it in your own private time, and that's it. Brother,
that sounds nice.
It's not about the cameras, brother. It's not about the cameras. It's not about people seeing you do it or not. It's better when people see it because they bear witness to that you have become a Muslim. But this is about saving your soul from the hellfire, bro. So of course, I'm gonna make myself free for that. Obviously. So, I could follow you. And you could follow me. Shoot me a message when you're ready. We could do it. No problem.
All right, I just followed you, brother.
Yeah, just shoot me a message and I'll respond to you. And whenever you feel ready, brother, we could do it. You don't have to do it here.
I'm gonna text you tomorrow. All right.
Inshallah, God willing. Okay, have a good one, brother. God bless. Enjoy.
Okay. Love you.
Sorry, brother. Sorry, I kicked you. I love you too, man. I kicked you before you could say that. I appreciate it. All right, now where's this kid? All that big talk for you to be snoring on my live? All right.
Hello,
Hey, how's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How can I help you today?
Well, I am a Christian, yes. Yeah, the prompt says prove me wrong, but I would say I do believe that there are, I do believe there's fulfilled prophecies in the Bible, so that's why I believe that the Bible's true.
That's circular.
Okay, you want me to show you like prophecy, maybe?
No, I said that's circular.
Right? So what?
So what? It's
Hmm.
fallacious. It's circular. You said that you're gonna show me in the Bible the
Right?
prophecy to
Hmm.
prove Christianity, but saying the Bible is a theological expression which
Okay.
preassumes a specific canon of divine revelation.
Wait, what'd you say the last part? I disconnected my
I said
Bluetooth.
when you say Bible, you're
Hmm.
referring to a theological closed set of books that are the Word of God, right?
Okay, sure.
Okay, I'm saying that's a theological claim. For me, each book in the Bible is saying something different, written by a completely distinct author. They
Okay,
have different agendas, they're saying different things. So for
okay,
me, these books were not written initially to be united into one book called the Bible.
okay,
That's a theological claim. Do you understand?
sure.
Okay.
But that
So
doesn't mean, but that doesn't mean that there's prophecy that doesn't
sure,
prophesy
sure,
it.
sure. You know what? I don't want to get too technical with you. What
Right.
prophecy proves Christianity in the Bible? Go ahead.
I do like the book of Daniel. We can go to Daniel 9.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see. Daniel 9, verse 24 through 27.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, wait. I will read it. Okay. 70 weeks are determined for your 70 weeks are determined for your people and for your holy city to finish transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. And then I'll just read part of 25 and 26 because it's long. It says, "Know therefore and understand that from going forth of the command to rebuild Jerusalem till Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 and 62 weeks. And yeah, then the street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times." And then yeah, it continues after 62 weeks, Messiah shall be cut off, and yeah, that's it for now.
Okay.
Hmm.
So go ahead,
So
demonstrate the fulfillment and how it proves
sure.
Christianity.
So in the book of Ezra, there's 3 decrees, right? There's 3 decrees. There's decree of Cyrus, decree of Darius I, and decree of Artaxerxes. And and then that's one of the decrees we're going to use as a starting point for Daniel.
What decree as a starting point?
I do believe it is the decree of Artaxerxes.
Which says,
I mean, we can go there. That's in Ezra chapter 7, verses 12 through 26.
no, I'm saying, what's the decree?
For Daniel 9,
No, the second decree. What is it? What is he decreeing?
who?
Dude, you just said in the book of Ezra there's three decrees, and you're gonna go with the second one, right?
That's the third one, but
Or
yeah.
the third one? Okay. What's the decree?
Yeah, so decree of Artaxerxes.
Yeah, what is he decreeing?
Sure, hang on. in Ezra chapter 7, so it's basically King Artaxerxes talking about restoring not only, well, mainly restoring temple worship. That's why King Artaxerxes instructs Ezra.
Good. Restoring temple worship. Okay. Now, what does Daniel 9 say the decree will be?
Daniel 9, verse 25. Yeah, it says from the decree of the going forth to restore and build Jerusalem.
To restore and build Jerusalem. And who gave
Yes.
the decree to restore and build Jerusalem?
Like I said, I believe that was Artaxerxes.
Did it say that in the verse? That to go and restore and build Jerusalem?
No, it doesn't
Okay,
say
good.
that.
So
It's not going to say that verbatim.
good. It doesn't say that verbatim or non-verbatim. It doesn't say anything like that. The decree that is to rebuild the city is by Cyrus, and we know that from Josephus as well as Isaiah.
Well, there's multiple decrees, so you have to pick.
No, there's
which
not multiple decrees. There's only one rebuilding Jerusalem decree, and it's from Cyrus.
There's not. Then why is there
Okay,
a decree?
can you show me now where there is a decree of rebuilding the entire city other than Cyrus?
Yeah, I mean, if you
All
go
right.
to Ezra. Wait, hang on. I mean, even if you go to Ezra 6:14,
Just quote the verse, bro.
Yeah, and it says, "And they built and finished it." It says, "So the elders of the Jews built, and they prospered."
I
through the
asked you to show me the decree. It doesn't say
Right.
it doesn't say when they will build it, the starting will count. It says when the decree is given, the counting will start. Show the decree other than Cyrus.
What are you talking about? What do you
Read
want?
Daniel 9 again. You see how you trapped yourself? Because
No, I don't.
all right, so
I'm
read
not-
all right, then we'll see. Read Daniel 9 again.
Okay.
From when goes forth?
Yeah. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth to the command to restore and build
The
Jerusalem.
command to restore and build Jerusalem, yes?
Yes.
So
but
from
did
when
Cyrus restore-
let me finish. So from when the command is given, that's when the counting will start, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Good. Now where's the command given other than Cyrus?
Yeah, I told you it's Artaxerxes.
All right, let's see the verse where it says rebuild the city.
Okay, fine. We can go to Ezra 7, but we can also go to Nehemiah.
All right,
chapter
if you have
2.
so many, just quote the verse, bro. Quote the verse where
Sure.
somebody other than Cyrus gives a decree to rebuild the city.
Okay. Nehemiah chapter 2, verse. I'm going in my Bible. Okay, Nehemiah 2, verse. And even in verse 1, and it came to pass in the month of Nisan, in the 12th year of King Artaxerxes, when wine was before them, that I took the wine and gave it to the king. And then, yeah, so Nehemiah's, it's talking about how Nehemiah was.
Where
sad
is
and
the
whatever.
decree?
But in verse 11 says, so I came to Jerusalem and was there three days, and I rose, and yeah, and I went out and whatever. But then,
Where is the decree?
wait.
wait.
Yeah,
Where
then
is
I
the
said-
decree to rebuild Jerusalem?
I'm trying to look for the verse, brother. I'm trying to look for the verse.
Okay, good.
Then I said
Find it.
to him, You see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lies. And it says, come and let us build the wall of Jerusalem, that we no longer may be in reproach, right?
Nice. Build the wall of Jerusalem. Where is the decree to build the city of Jerusalem?
Yeah, that's there.
Sorry, I didn't hear a decree where the rebuilding of the city is issued. That only exists in Isaiah with Cyrus. And this is why You don't want to go with that. Because if Cyrus issues a decree to rebuild the city, which is exactly what happens, and you start counting from when Cyrus gives a decree, you flop. You count 70 years later, which is 70 weeks, which according to Daniel will be 490 years. And you would get a year that has nothing to do with anything. It's a false prophecy. It's just a false prophecy, bro.
It's not. Wait,
All right.
I'm gonna.
So does Cyrus decree to rebuild the city?
He does, but he doesn't. Does he restore temple worship? That
It doesn't say in Daniel.
Yes, he does.
In Daniel, it doesn't say from when the temple worship is restored. In Daniel, it says from when the decree is issued.
What's the context of Daniel 9, though?
The context of Daniel 9 is Daniel being confused as to why they are still in exile. And it turns out that the 70, let me finish. You see how you didn't expect me to know that, did you? And it turns out,
No, that's fine.
That Daniel misinterpreted 70 years, and really it's 70 weeks of years. And so Angel Gabriel informs him that, hey, Daniel, you know how we said 70 years? Yeah, it's 70 weeks of years, which makes it 490 years. And that's in accordance with Deuteronomy, where it says that when God is upset at you guys, he will multiply your punishment 7 times. So then the 70 years becomes 490 years. The issue is 490 years from when the decree is given, and that's given by Cyrus, there's nothing. It's a false prophecy.
Okay, in Daniel 9, let me say this, though. In Daniel 9, when Daniel is praying about specifically the sins of Israel, Cyrus has nothing to do with the sins of Israel. You see, you keep trying to go to Cyrus' decree,
I don't know what this has to do with. I don't know what this has to do with anything. It says.
It does.
It says. You see, when the English is plain and clear, but the results and the consequence isn't in support of your religion, you try to reinterpret everything. Dude, it's clear. From when the decree to rebuild the city is given. When's the decree given to rebuild the city? By Cyrus. Cyrus explicitly gives a decree to rebuild the city. It's explicit.
Oh, okay. If you start, like I said, if you started actually in 457 BC, which is the decree of Artaxerxes, then it would actually get you to the time of Christ.
Why would you
actually the whole context?
And why would you start? And why would you start there instead of Cyrus?
Like I said, because
it doesn't because it doesn't tickle you the right way.
What decree did Artax, or what decree was the law restored specifically in Jerusalem?
It doesn't matter. That's not what Daniel 9 says.
It does. That's exactly what
it just simply does not.
Yes, it does.
Daniel 9, as you read it 2-3 times, says from when the decree is given to rebuild the city. It says nothing else. From when the decree is given to rebuild the city. Lo and behold, that decree is given by Cyrus. If we start counting from that decree, it flops.
But if you start counting from the actual decree, which is Artaxerxes,
but it's not the actual decree.
It gets you to 27.
But it's not.
Why does it get you?
But it's not.
Why
the
does
actual
it get you
decree.
to the exact timing, though?
Why does what get you to the? It doesn't, because
if you actually use
it doesn't.
The decree of Artaxerxes,
it does.
Why does it get you?
Oh, okay. Let's play with that. If you interpret,
Sure.
So what? Watch this, guys. Why does it? If we count at this place that I want to start counting, it results in Christianity because I want to prove my Christianity true. That's circular. But let's grant it for a second. If in Daniel 7, it says that the little horn will oppress the people of God for a time, times, and half a time.
Okay.
A time, double the time, and half the time. Now, if you count time, which in Aramaic just means period of time, as 100 years, you have 350 years. And the little horn is who? Constantine. If you count from the birth of Constantine, let me finish. If you count from the birth of Constantine, time, times, and half a time, you get the year 622, which is when the Prophet Muhammad migrated to Medina, instituting the kingdom of God. You see? Islam is true.
No. It's not.
No.
Who has that position,
Me.
though, of Constantine?
Me.
No one thinks Constantine's the little
I
horn.
do.
Right. That's
All
not
right.
a position that's held by scholars at all.
So now I started counting, right? And I got 350 years, which just happens to land at 622. Wow. If I start counting from this very
Wait.
subjective time that I want to start in, I get Islam. So let's just do that, right?
No.
No.
Because
Why? Because it's Islam. If it had been Christianity, you'd be okay with it.
I
Because
actually
that's what
do
you're doing.
believe. I actually do believe Islam is in the Bible, but yeah, I do want to talk. I do want to talk about quickly about the even if you do the math actually to the actual decree, which is Artaxerxes,
It's not the actual
gets
decree. I just proved it.
it gets you to 27 AD.
If you do the math
And
from the birth of Constantine, which is the actual time you should start, then
Who
you get
thinks it's
then you get I do.
Constantine? Well, you're pretty unique because
All right.
no one else.
And you're pretty unique too, man. We're both unique.
I'm not. This is
we're
a view
both
that was
unique.
held by. This is a view that was held by Sir Isaac Newton, the Protestant
Sir
reformers.
Isaac Newton, the Christian.
Sir Isaac Newton, yes, sir. He actually held
Yeah,
that
who is a
view.
Christian, right?
Yeah, why? You don't
This-
think
this-
so because
this
he
is-
didn't believe in the Trinity?
This is a position by the Orthodox Muslim, who's a Muslim.
okay.
Even the Orthodox Muslim said it, man.
It's not. It's. I'm just saying that there's other people.
I'm just saying, brother, that this is a failed prophecy because Daniel, unfortunately, is very historically illiterate book. There are some true prophecies in there that prove Islam. We could talk
Yeah,
about
I
those if
actually
you
do
want.
want to talk about that also. The kingdoms,
but we'll
because
get
I
there.
did hear
But
Islam.
we'll get there.
Sure.
Daniel is just full of historical inaccuracies, and that's why it's pushed by scholars to a second century dating. For example, who is Belshazzar?
Yeah, the scholars were literally debunked on Belshazzar because
Watch this, guys. Watch this. Keep saying what you're saying. Go ahead.
yeah, the scholars were literally debunked by Belshazzar because they thought Belshazzar wasn't even like.
And then they found they found the document that has Belshazzar ruling, right?
Yeah, well, they found multiple, right?
Oh, beautiful. Watch this. Is Belshazzar the son of King Nebuchadnezzar?
Yeah, I know where you're going with this because that's what Daniel 5.
Wait. Is he the son of King Nebuchadnezzar?
He's the grandson.
Doesn't say grandson.
Yeah,
show
I'm
me
aware of
the
that.
verse. You see now.
I know that the Bible says son.
Now what you're doing is you're sewing it up together. Show me the verse that says grandson.
No. I'm not saying that's what the verse says.
You said
is
the grandson. Show me the verse.
No, we know that from historical. We know that.
No. Does the Bible
because
say
he's the son of Nabonidus? I'm not saying that.
Does the Bible say that?
No. Okay, what does the Bible also say in Daniel 5 though? Listen to this. It says
just before we go to Daniel 5, does it say that Belshazzar is his son?
Daniel 5 is about Belshazzar. It doesn't
Sir,
say
does it say that he is his son?
it does say that.
Is he his son?
No, but there's other places in the Bible where it says even Jesus.
That's not how you interpret. That's not how you interpret passages, sir. That's called.
Is Jesus called the son of David?
I'm gonna explain it to you now. Standing from what I said.
I mean, just what you said. They're good kids, okay?
And how do they relate to me?
They're your kid.
And what does that mean?
Yeah, they're your kid.
It's my son and my daughter, right?
Sure.
Okay, good. Now, it would be very weird for you to assume without precedence that I'm really talking about my great grandkids or my great grandkids, right?
Okay.
Without precedence, now I could mean that in language, I could mean that. But without precedence, there's no reason to think that. Okay? So when it says that King Nebuchadnezzar had a son, and his son is Belshazzar, we have no reason to think that what it really means is that it's his grandson.
We really do, because that means
All right,
that the author would have been aware of Nabonidus.
All right, what reason do we have in Daniel to say that the author really, when he says son, what he really means is grandson? Go ahead.
Yeah, because in Daniel 5, that's the passage about Belshazzar and him being conquered by Cyrus, right? And it talks about Daniel. You know, you're familiar with the writing on the wall, right?
Belshazzar was never a king of Babylon, by the way. Just want to let you know that. So that's another historical inaccuracy.
Okay, but let me continue though, because Daniel is offered the third position of the kingdom, which means by Belshazzar. And even the scholars will say, because Nabonidus was actually the king, and then he was not, and it makes sense that he was, because Nabonidus is always
but Daniel doesn't say that. And again, you're now responding another
verbatim. We don't need
sir.
verbatim.
I said, what is the precedence in Daniel that what the author really means? Can you stop cutting me off? What the author really means is grandson.
Yeah, I gave you, because Nabonidus is the father of Belshazzar, right?
Where does the Bible say that?
We know that from history. My point is, if the author is aware of Belshazzar,
question begging. You're assuming that Daniel aligns historically, which is the very point we're contending. How do you this is simple stuff?
No, it's because
sir, it's very simple. I'm not going to waste any more time. Can you show in the book of Daniel where what Daniel really means when he says son is grandson?
Okay, it's not going to explicitly say that.
Does it implicitly say that?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not going.
All right. So there's no reason to think that, right?
I mean, there is a I gave you a reason, but you know, you don't want.
Your reason was because that's what the historical document says, which is circular.
No.
Which
not
is circular.
Only that, I gave you the Bible passage, and when Belshazzar offers Daniel the third position of the kingdom, which means if Daniel is aware of Nabonidus, Daniel's aware of Nabonidus because Belshazzar is actually not the highest authority, clearly, because he's saying, look, I can't give you the second, but
where does it say that Daniel's not aware of Nabonidus? That's first.
No, I said he is aware.
No, I'm saying where does it say that?
Why does it have to say specifically?
Because I'm not saying it has to say specifically. I'm saying that's the very thing in contention, sir. You see, the book of Daniel just messes up many historical details, invents Darius the Mede. There's no such thing as Darius the Mede.
We don't know that though. Just because
we do know that because we don't have any historical documents of a guy called Darius the Mede. Right.
Okay, but that's what they said about Belshazzar, and they got debunked.
Let me finish. And we only changed what we said about Belshazzar because a historical document popped up. But for the time being, we have no reason to think that. Just like when we didn't find the document of Belshazzar being somebody, we had no reason to think that he existed. So just because we found the existence of someone, it doesn't automatically mean that if Daniel invents a whole guy called Darius the Mede and a Persian Mede coalition, that means we should just wait until we find evidence. We're dealing with the evidence that we have now. And the evidence we have now suggests that there's no such thing as Darius the Mede.
Yeah, I'm aware that there's not any historical data that might not be pointing to that. Of course, we know that the Medes and the Persians, we know that Cyrus conquered the Medes. We know that they were, the Medes were absorbed in the Persian Empire.
And we know there is no Darius the Mede. Because if there was...
we don't know
we do know that. We do know that. It's called a good argument from silence. When we expect evidence and we don't find evidence, because we don't actually really expect because Belshazzar is not really I wouldn't compare him to Darius the Mede. Darius the Mede is way more significant than Belshazzar. But anyways, I already Darius. Back to my original point. Where does the Bible say that Belshazzar is just a grandson and not the actual son, like the text says?
He's not going to explicitly say that.
The text doesn't say that?
Yeah, it doesn't say that.
Good. So your response is motivated by dogma.
It's not motivated by dogma.
Okay, so what good precedents do you have to assume that when it says son, it means really grandson?
Yeah, we know that because of the historic. I already told you that. We know that.
Again, that's circular. Data. Do I have to explain to you what a circular argument is again? That's the very thing where that's the very thing we're in contention.
I'm telling but my point is that Daniel. My point is, yeah. Okay, my point is though that Daniel does. Again, we're not explaining why he's being offered the third position. You did not even acknowledge that.
Because that has nothing to do with.
It really does.
Let me finish, man. Let me explain to you. That has nothing to do with whether when the text says that it's his son, what it really means is grandson. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about was there a different authority that is ahead of Daniel or not. That's a whole separate
like you're missing
issue.
My point. Yeah,
brother. I'm not going to repeat myself again. It's either you're going to bring. You're going to bring the passage or not. So the whole point is the text says it's his son, and gives and there's no reason to think that it's really his grandson, because if that's how contradictions worked, or if that's how exegesis worked, then there would be no contradiction ever. Because anytime it says that so and so is the son of so and so is the son of a different so and so, then all we have to say is, oh, this is a grandson, just because language allows it. Well, this is just ad hoc because there's no precedence for it. Okay. Now you could ask me about what you want from Daniel 2. What about Daniel 2?
Sure. I do want to talk about the kingdoms also, but I want to make a little note on Daniel 9 because, right, I know you don't agree with the starting decree, but...
It's not that I don't agree. It's a plain reading, dude. It's
not.
It's just a plain reading.
Okay. If we actually count 7 and 62 weeks, which is 483 years, to 457, that's 27 AD. What happened in 27 AD? Jesus was anointed. That's actually why Jesus says in Mark 1:15 that the time is fulfilled.
Jesus was anointed in 27 AD?
Yes, sir.
Where does it say? Where does it say that?
Yeah, we actually know that from the math. Actually, in Luke chapter 3, we can bring up Josephus also, because in Josephus' writings, in John chapter 2, when Jesus, when Jesus says, like, destroy this temple in 3 days, I'll raise it up. He says that in John chapter 2, verse 19. And then the Jews are like, that's taken 46 years.
So we're not sure that he said something like that, because Mark denies that he said something like that.
That's what the text says.
I know.
It doesn't deny that.
So again, we're trying to work with... Brother, you just asked me a question. You want me to respond or... Yeah. So you just said, well, you know how John says it. Well, Jesus doesn't actually say that. Because according to Mark, he says contrary to that. That's what they're bringing.
What are you talking about?
In Mark, that's the charge against him.
What?
That people make up about him. The trial of the high priest. When people start making conspiracies against Jesus, and they found that their testimonies didn't match. What was the thing they made up about Jesus?
Yeah, that was one of them.
So the Gospel of Mark implies that Jesus didn't say something like that.
That's not what it's implied.
That is what it implies.
What are you?
The Gospel of Mark has a contrary tradition. But anyways, that's a side point. You can continue.
Okay, yeah, because when the Jews said it's taken 46 years to build this temple, that's what they said. When did the 46 years actually start?
They didn't say anything like that, because in the Gospel of John, it's not independently attested and doesn't meet our historical critical criteria. But continue.
Okay, but you can say that, but that's what the text said.
Just because the Gospel of Thomas says that Jesus said women can't enter heaven.
Okay.
That's what the text says.
Okay, I mean, you can say that about the Quran. You can say that about
So
anything.
just don't say, oh, that's what the text says. Like, that's supposed to be something.
Right.
I know that's what the text says. The point is, it's not historical. But anyways, another side point. Continue.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So it's taken 46 years to build this temple. in Luke chapter 3, verse 1, Jesus, or in Luke chapter 3, Jesus is getting baptized, right? And it says in the 15th year of Tiberius Caesar, yeah, and then he was around 30 years old, so whatever. But then in 46 years to build
Wait,
this
wait,
temple.
wait, 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 wait.
What is it now?
Wait.
I want to finish.
When is Luke chapter 3 taking place? After the death of Herod or during?
We can talk about this.
No,
I know where
it's
you're going with this in
it's
Josephus.
it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, brother. After the death of Herod or before?
Of course, I'm going to say after.
After the death of Herod?
Yep.
But Matthew has it before.
Wait, let me finish though.
No.
We can go
But
through that certainly.
Your whole argument is predicated on this
It's not.
timeline.
No. My point was that.
What do you mean it's not?
Wait, let me finish though. You're going to see it because in Josephus' writings, the temple started being built around 20 to 19 BC. That's in Josephus' Antiquities of the Jews. And if you count 46 years, because we know John 2 is around the time Jesus was baptized, that also gives you to around 27 AD also.
No, it just means all that means is that John was aware of when the temple was rebuilt again.
Yeah, that's my point though. But we know that Jesus.
All right, John was aware of it. How does this put us? How does this put that?
Because it also
just
shows.
Wait, how does
it also shows that the Messiah.
Just wait, brother. How does this put Jesus being anointed in 27 AD? Where did you come up with
because that's the same time period. That's my point, brother.
The same time. How do you know he wasn't anointed in 28 AD?
My point is because no, it's around that time, 27 AD, 28 AD. Well, 27 AD because we know from the
okay. So now you see this salad mashup mix up. Oh, it's just it went from 27 AD. Oh, just around the time we could just around maybe it was 25.
Well, the temple.
Maybe it's 20. Dude, what are we even talking about right now? What are we even talking about?
I met the temple 46 years after, because it says in the 18th year of Herod started in 37 BC. In the 18th year of Herod, that's what Josephus says.
And when was Jesus anointed?
Yeah, 27 AD.
Show me where it says that.
Yeah, Daniel 9.
Oh my God, that's called begging the question. Oh my God. That's called begging the question again, bro. Do you not know what begging the question is? Says that in Daniel 9.
Mark chapter 1:15, listen to this. Yeah, that's what I said. Jesus says the time was fulfilled. In John chapter 2, that's around the same time he was baptized.
Just wait. Jesus is not baptized in John.
They're happening all around the same time period.
Sir, Jesus is not baptized in John.
I know that, but we know.
So this assumes that the synoptics and John are univocal, which they're not. They're not. The cleansing of the temple happens at the end of Jesus' life in John. The cleansing of the temple happens at the beginning in the synoptics. So now, where do you get the idea? And by the way, all of this is a side point. Even if he did get at 27 AD, no problem. My point still stands. I'm just trying to press you on these things that you're taking for granted. Like Jesus, we know Jesus was anointed in 27. How do you know that? Can you show me the verse that says Jesus was anointed in 27 AD? How do you
That's why I told
do that
you
math? Do that. Okay, show me where it says it. You still haven't shown how Jesus was anointed in 27 AD.
Right. Anointed meaning he was baptized at that time.
Oh, so now anointed means baptized.
That's when he was anointed by the Holy Spirit. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The Holy Spirit come guys. Down, anointing is baptizing.
When did the Spirit?
So the decree to rebuild the city becomes a decree to rebuild the wall. What else, brother? What else?
Yeah,
you're doing awesome. Son really means grandson. Good job, bro. Belshazzar ruled means
Are we not?
Wait 1 second.
Are we not?
Belshazzar ruled Babylon means he co-ruled with his dad Nabonidus.
We have evidence.
Good, brother. You're doing fantastic. Just reinterpret things. Just make them mean whatever you want them to mean, and just then you will try to force Christianity
I mean,
fulfilled by prophecy.
I feel like you have to say that though, because if we do actually take the math like that, if we do take the Gospels as like they're, of course, they're John's going to agree with whatever Mark, Matthew, Luke are saying.
Why would we
of course.
think that?
They're disciples of Christ.
Oh my! That assumes univocality, which if
Okay,
we're
fine.
assessing this prophecy according to historical standards, they are anonymous. So you can't mix
No,
and
okay,
match. You
fine.
can't mix and match how you like. You are trying
My
to
point
assess a
is-
prophecy historically. So please take the historical consensus
My
to make your
point
point.
is fine. If we want to take historical consensus, we can talk about kingdoms in Daniel 2. You think it's about Islam, but that's not even what the historical consensus or the scholars
All right.
believe it's
All
about.
right. So who ended Rome?
Yeah, who ended the Western Roman Empire?
Doesn't
It's not
say it
Islam.
doesn't say Western Rome. It says
We're just going to arbitrarily skip over the Byzantine Empire.
It's not arbitrarily. And the Byzantine.
It is,
Let me
because-
educate you, son. Okay. The Byzantine Empire was never actually called Byzantine by its citizens or by administration.
Yeah,
it
we're
was called.
aware
Let
of that.
me finish. Maybe you are. People are watching. Maybe are not.
No, fine.
Okay.
But you know my
so let me
point, though, right?
teach you. Okay.
Sure.
The Byzantine Empire was not called the Byzantine Empire. It was called the Holy Roman Empire. This is according to Christian sources, Persian sources, Arab sources, Coptic sources. Okay, so there's no Byzantine Empire. It was the Roman Empire. Daniel says that this kingdom will end the fourth beast, not end half of it or some of it. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was
Yeah,
gonna
you
end.
should show me where it says that.
So now, in 470, what was it? 476.
476.
Right. You have the Western Empire, which all that means, the western part of the borders or of the landmass was consumed by the barbarian tribes of Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Did the Roman Empire fall? No.
It fell.
It did not.
It fell in 476.
There's-
It's called the fall of Rome.
No, it's not called the fall of Rome.
Hey, when
It's called the
Constantine-
fall of the western part of Rome.
It's called the fall of Rome.
Nope, it's called the fall of the western
I
part of
agree
Rome.
that the Byzantine. Okay,
Rome
but the point is-
continued to be the beast that terrified the
did
Jews
not.
and the saints of God
Okay.
until the 7th century, when it was stripped of its authority and power.
Okay, first of all, where do you believe Islam is mentioned of the beast of the kingdoms? Where are they mentioned at?
The kingdom of God.
See, that's where I'm not going to agree with that.
Oh, really?
We don't
So
have-
So which? Okay, let's
The
play.
kingdom of
let's
God
play a game.
is
Let's play a game.
sure.
Which kingdom came after the division of Rome, during Rome's existence, ended Rome, and dominated that region?
I'm okay. I have like so many problems.
Just answer my question.
Right. Yes,
Which kingdom
yes, sir.
came?
The Ottoman Empire.
Not Ottoman. Didn't say anything about Ottoman. Ottomans didn't exist until way later.
No,
I'm
no.
asking you, which kingdom came after the Rome split, during
Mm-hmm.
Rome's existence, ended Rome, and dominated the region of interest, which, according to Daniel, is the entire world.
So, Western Rome wasn't ended by any Islamic. Eastern Rome, the Byzantine, was ended by the Ottoman Empire.
Because when Western part of Rome fell, the only Roman body that existed was the Byzantine Roman body, right?
Fine.
Okay, so Rome still existed, thrived, and continued.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, and who ended Rome?
Yeah, Rome fell by barbarian tribes. You talked about
Rome
that.
didn't fall by barbarian tribes. Only western part fell by barbarian tribes.
That's the point of the
Here, so let me
prophecy,
ask you a
sir.
question. If Russia takes Alaska back, did America fall?
No.
Oh, why?
It's yeah, okay, because it's...
Did Russia
not
destroy
all
and
of
end America if they
Right.
take Alaska
No,
back?
I see your point, right, because not all America fell.
Okay,
Now, let me say this, though. Right.
okay, so let's just clarify. If Russia ends up taking Alaska, which they had it before, they sold it to the States.
no.
Now they want it back. If Russia did a ground invasion somehow and took back Alaska, can we say truthfully that the United States, the empire of the United States, fell?
Oh, because I
Good.
feel like because I
Good.
feel like you're not even okay.
Excellent.
What does the prophecies actually say?
It says that Rome
After
will
the
come
Fourth
to an
Kingdom.
end.
Okay, no, specifically, what does the fourth kingdom say? What will happen to it? It will divide in regions, right? It will divide in 10 toes or 10 horns. Those
Doesn't
10
say that in Daniel 2. It says that in Daniel 7. And it doesn't
The 10
say
toes, it says in Daniel 2.
it doesn't say we'll divide in regions. You're making shit up. It says we'll have 10 kings.
No, okay,
And
fine.
yes,
That's not
yes,
what-
Daniel 2 says 10 toes. But
Yes.
the 10 toes are just the 10 kings that come out of this is explained by Daniel 7.
Yeah, okay. So the 10 toes are the 10 barbarian tribes.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Then what are they?
No, they're
Okay,
not.
Then you explain to me
The
what are they?
the 10 toes are explained by Daniel 7. They're 10 kings that come out of Rome.
You can't have a king without a kingdom.
Yeah, they're
That's
within.
why Daniel 7.
They're with Lord have mercy. They're within the same kingdom. That's why Daniel 7 says,
They are.
out of the fourth beast, 10 kings will arise.
Okay, who are the 10 kings then?
There's different hypotheses as to who exactly are the 10 kings.
No, because you're not going to find. You can't.
Having identifying who completely tangential. It literally has nothing to do with the prophecy.
It really
The
does.
prophecy
because
is
then we
that
don't
the
know who
fifth
the
kingdom
little
of
horn is.
the prophecy is that the fifth kingdom of God that is instituted by God will come after Rome during its existence. It will be set up by God himself. It will take power and authority over that region and it will bring Rome to an end. Did the Muslim Empire do that?
Yeah, the Ottoman Empire ended the Byzantine.
Didn't ask about the Ottoman Empire. I said
That's an Islamic.
I said did the Muslims do that? Did they come after
They
Rome?
didn't do that
Did they come after
Muhammad?
Did they come out? Didn't say under Muhammad. Just like in Jeremiah, it says, "I will send you King Nebuchadnezzar to terrify you." But at this point, King Nebuchadnezzar is dead. What he meant is Babylon. So you can speak about King Nebuchadnezzar doing something without King Nebuchadnezzar actually being alive. Checkmates. But that's besides the point. You see how you keep getting grilled on everything because you haven't done the research.
No.
On this. Brother, this is
No,
my
I
bread and
feel-
butter. You'll never beat me on this, brother. I can go on.
Really?
So
No, I'm not even done.
The question,
Yeah,
the question,
because-
the question is before you cut me off. The question is, did the Muslims come after Rome
Yes, sir.
during its existence, take authority over that entire region, and bring Rome to an end? Did they do that?
Okay, which part of Islam are you talking about, though?
The kingdom of Ishmael as identified by the Christians and Jews. They didn't differentiate between different caliphates because they were all under the banner of Islam. Just like in Daniel chapter 8, you have one king. Let me finish. You have one kingdom that represents Alexander of Macedonia.
Go.
Has one long horn, but then it grows presented some 4 power blocks. Daniel considers it one kingdom. Likewise, the children of Ishmael, the Islamic Empire, is one kingdom. So now answer my question. Did the children of Israel come to an end?
Hey, fine. Yes.
They did that?
But
they did that?
in the seventh.
Wait. They did that?
No,
they did that?
Give it to you.
All right.
Yes,
So It's fulfilled. Thank you. You just conceded.
No, no, no.
You just conceded. You just conceded. You literally just
My point
conceded.
was,
You
yeah,
just conceded that the Muslims
because
fulfilled
I
Daniel.
know,
It's over,
no,
bro. It's over.
no, I did not,
Wallahi, you
because
just conceded. I swear
I
you just
admitted,
conceded, dude.
no, I admitted because I'm giving you that the Ottoman Empire did, because if we're talking about the 7th century under Muhammad, under Abu Bakr, or whoever you want to mention, right? They did not conquer Rome. What are you
Succeeding.
trying to say? They're
They're
succeeding.
succeeding.
An empire did that Muhammad would not really agree on, right?
It
I
does. It
actually
does.
do believe that.
It doesn't matter. Even if some sub power blocks within the Islamic kingdom had
Hmm.
deviance or had weird practices, or this king unalived his brother for the throne, and so on and so forth.
Right.
That's fine. You have the same thing with the kingdom of David. Was the kingdom of David still God's kingdom?
Yeah, fine. It was.
Oh, okay. So sin and disobedience
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
deviance happening within the kingdom doesn't make it not God's kingdom anymore.
No,
Just
that's not.
just
That's
like
not my point,
just
though.
like David's kingdom had all of that, right? And it was still considered
Okay.
God's kingdom.
Okay, fine. But while I actually do believe the Ottoman Empire is in Bible prophecy, I actually do believe that God was on the side. I actually do believe God used Islam to punish Christianity. To be honest,
Yeah,
so it's not like.
that's just a
Mhm.
cope because Islam just fulfills prophecy so well,
It, it does
and
not do that in
you're
Daniel,
only
though.
it does do that. You know what? You want to know why?
Okay.
That's why Christians and Jews had to reinterpret the succession of the kingdoms. You have Coptic documents from the 10th century. You have Greek documents. You have even Jewish documents. After the coming of Islam, they start rearranging and saying, oh, you know what? Maybe the order goes Babylon, Persia,
That's not what happened. That's
Media,
not what
and
happened.
Greece. Maybe the fourth kingdom is Islam. Maybe that's
Okay,
the
if the
fourth
fourth
kingdom.
kingdom
Roman Empire. They were part of the Roman Empire, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what are you trying to say?
Are
Islam?
the Visigoths part of the Roman Empire?
The Visigoths? Yeah, that's a barbarian tribe.
Barbarians are Romans?
Yes, was that a part of the Roman Empire? Yes or no? It was.
No.
It was.
The
That's why they
sir,
separated.
sir,
The barbarian
sir,
tribes
sir,
came
sir,
up.
sir. You're confused, bro. The
I'm not.
barbarians,
The barbarian tribes.
barbarian.
Then you're just wrong. That's not saying it's only 10. It's just saying that, look, there's 10 horns and then 3 horns.
Okay, it says 10, but there were 13.
Oh my.
So is it right or wrong?
That's not even the point.
So it's just ad hoc, bro. 10 becomes
It's
13.
not.
Son becomes grandson. Rebuilding
but
the city
you
becomes
see, you're
rebuilding
still not-
the
you're
wall.
still- you're still not answering the
27 becomes
No.
28. Brother.
It looks.
It's over, bro. It's over.
It's not.
It's over.
Who's the fourth kingdom?
Hey,
then?
brother. The fourth kingdom is the Roman Empire.
Okay, then who's the 10 horns? Islam.
The 10 horns are 10 kings who come
Who
from the
are they,
Rome.
brother?
It doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
so
It
there's
does.
10 Romans.
I just answered this question earlier. There are different hypotheses to who the 10 are, but who the 10 are, 10 Roman emperors, is completely tangential to the point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does.
All that
Because
matters
my
is
point
the
is it's
11th.
not
All that
Islam.
matters is the 11th king, the little horn, who's Constantine, who's identifiable.
Okay, what? So if you believe Islam is in the statue, then
Islam
you
is not in
believe-
the statue.
you
Islam is
believe
the,
it's just the stone that struck
Islam is the stone that became a mountain.
How do we know that? See, you're not even
Because it's
providing any
because
evidence
it's
of that.
historically demonstrable. What do you mean? How do we know
not.
that? You already conceded.
represents-
You already conceded it is already. You
No, I
said
did not. I did not
Islam
concede
comes
that.
after
Daniel-
Rome during its existence, ends Rome, and takes authority and power over the region
the
at hand.
stone represents the heavenly kingdom, not an earthly kingdom. That's the point of the
You
the image.
think heaven? Hold on. So when you think heavenly kingdom is what, like a spiritual invisible kingdom?
Yeah, I think that's when
Show me where it says that.
after the end of the age.
You guys see? Destroy a kingdom, destroying and crushing another just becomes spiritual. Oh, brother,
Yeah,
it's
that's
spiritual.
the rock.
Okay, show me where it says that. That's just
Let's go to Daniel
that's just
2.
begging the question that assumes Christianity.
Fine.
Yeah, show me where it says that.
It's not.
Show me where it says
Okay.
that. Show me where it says it's a spiritual kingdom.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
there.
let's see it.
So in Daniel 7:25, of course, Daniel 2, Daniel 7, and Daniel 8 are all parallel. You agree?
Yes.
Right. Yes, sir. So after the little horn, right? It goes the little horn, and then it goes this kingdom. So we should be seeing the little horn be talking something about Islam then, if it's actually the kingdom that comes after the little horn. But listen to verse 26, 27. But the court shall be seated, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy it forever. Then the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people, the saints of the Most High. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. But let's go down to verse 11, right?
So where does it say that this kingdom is a spiritual, invisible kingdom?
It's not gonna let me read verse 12 and then I'll answer that, because in verse 11 it's also talking about the little horn, and then it says the beast will be taken away, their dominion will be taken away for a season and a time. Listen to verse 13. I was watching in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man coming with the clouds of heaven. He came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. Then to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, which his kingdom the one which shall not be destroyed.
So where does it
Okay.
say it's a spiritual, heavenly, cutie kingdom?
Yeah, because why is the Son of Man? First of all, the Son of Man is coming to the Ancient of Days. It says coming with the clouds of heaven, because this is actually
Oh my
something that's
God.
happening.
So brother,
This is
brother.
a heavenly
Oh
scene,
brother, I'm
brother.
gonna have to teach you again. Sorry, bro.
I feel like you're not
When it says the
understanding.
Son of Man is coming to near the Ancient of Days, this is
Is
still
that something
this
that's
is
going on in heaven or on earth?
watch how you're gonna poop yourself now. That's still during the vision, right?
Sure.
Okay, good. You notice how there was a bear in the vision that came from the bottom of the
Yes.
sea?
Yes.
Was that an actual bear that came from the bottom of the sea?
It's not literal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
that
then the coming from
represents the
heaven and the
kingdom.
clouds is not literal either.
What kind of case is this? So what? You're trying to say that.
Sir, pay attention.
So it's not a
Yeah,
literal Son of Man.
there's-
It's not a literal Ancient of Days.
The Son of Man represents the people of the Most High, as later in the chapter says. The
What do you
kingdom,
mean later in the chapter. What
the
are you
same
actually talking
chapter
about?
says the
Then
same.
bring it up then.
Bro, can you stop cutting me off? I'm trying to teach you, but you keep cutting off your teacher. Okay? So, scholarship is clear on this. Okay? There's first a vision, the dream. The dream, you see 4 animals, beasts, and they
Right.
come from the bottom of the sea.
Sure. Yes.
In contrast to the 4 beasts that come from the bottom, there is the human who comes from up top. You see the imagery here? 4 animal ugly creatures from the bottom, from the sea, the lowest point. Then the human being who comes from up top. That's the dream. When it comes to interpreting the dream, the beasts, the animals that come from the bottom of the sea are not actual animals that come from the bottom of the sea.
Right. We know
They
that,
are
yes.
evil, idol worshiping kingdoms. So then we have no reason to think that the one who's like a son of man, the human being who comes from up top, is an actual son of man who comes from up top.
Who's the Ancient of Days?
It's God.
Exactly.
Exactly what?
So why would
Why are you not responding to what I'm saying? Like, are you? You're just.
I am,
Why are you like
because-
Why are you like frozen? Are the animals that come from the bottom of the sea
I
literal
did
animals that
respond
come
to
from the
that.
bottom?
I said no.
Okay, then
I
why should we
responded, I
think that the
said no.
human who comes from up top is literal?
What? What kind? What does that
Is your
even mean?
answer
It's not necessarily about that.
What? Dude, are you moaning or something? Why? I'm going to repeat my question again. If the animals that come from the bottom of the sea is imagery, why is the human that comes from the top not imagery?
Because the beast, it tells us in Daniel 7:17 that the beast represent kings. Even if you go down to
And Daniel 7 says the Son of
20
Man represents the people of the Most High.
yeah, it says the kingdom shall be given to the people of the Most High. It never
Right.
says that the Son of Man
Right.
is the people.
Right.
It does not say that, brother.
And it doesn't say.
does not say that.
It doesn't say the animal. Does it say that the animal is the king?
It does say that.
It
yeah.
says the animal is the king. Show me.
Yes.
Show me
Daniel
where.
7:17.
Show me where.
You see, you're not
show me,
even reading.
And we'll see.
No,
we'll see.
you're not.
Bring the verse that says the bear is this specific king. Go
My
ahead.
point is the bear represents king. Those
And
great
my point.
beasts-
Good. And my point
Those
is that.
great
Let me
beasts-
finish. And my point is that the Son of Man represents the people of the Most High.
He's not exactly.
There is
the
no
people
son
the
of
Most High.
This is your brain is diluted. There is no Son of Man that's singular in Daniel 7.
Okay, then
There
show
is
me
there is
that.
a
See, you
represent.
keep saying.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
You keep saying there is that.
You're being slow. It's because I'm repeating myself 5 times.
You're not showing that
I'm
from
gonna
the Bible,
I'm gonna
sir.
try one more time. I'm gonna try one more time. There's a dream. The dream has 4 animals that come from the bottom of the ocean.
Yes, sir.
The dream, in contrast to the animals, has a human instead of an animal who doesn't come from the bottom, who instead comes from top. The first 4 represent demonic, non-godly, ungodly kingdoms. The 5th guy, who is not an animal, represents something heavenly and godly. Okay?
Yeah.
That's
right.
the dream. When we get to interpreting the dream later in the chapter,
Yep.
you have Kingdom 1, Kingdom 2, Kingdom 3, Kingdom 4, then saints of the Most High.
Yes.
Daniel never interprets the fifth person, one who's like a son of man, like an individual. Daniel 7 doesn't say the fifth
It
is...
doesn't say that it represents the
Bro,
people.
cut me
though.
off one more time. It does say that. Don't cut me
Show
off.
me then.
I'm
That's
trying to
my point.
explain. Dude, it's like I keep explaining and you keep saying, show me then. Do you have autism?
Because you're not.
Do you have autism? Are you
Brother.
on the spectrum? Be quiet. Shh. I'm like explaining and he's like, show me as I'm explaining. What are we doing, dude? So you have the interpretation of the dream. The one animal is not actually an animal. It's a kingdom. The second animal is not actually an animal. It's a kingdom. The third animal is not actually an animal. It's a kingdom. The fourth animal is not actually one individual animal. It's a kingdom. Now guess what? According to that, the one like a son of man, according to Daniel when he interprets it, says nothing about somebody specific who will be sent. It just says in the interpretation that after these four kingdoms, God will grant authority and dominion to the saints of the Most High.
Wait, my phone's about to die. Wait.
So then the inference is that the Son of Man portion is symbol for the saints of the Most High that are given the kingdom.
Right? Yeah, we agree
So there's
that they're
no
given the kingdom.
right. So there's
but-
no one individual person called the Son of Man in reality. That's just in the dream.
Well, but that wasn't even my whole point, right? Because my point is, you literally admitted that this is a scene going on in heaven, but
No,
now
it's
you're
not-
saying
only in the dream, just like the animals are going on in the sea.
right.
Yes. Are the animals actually in the sea?
No,
Is anything going on in the sea?
No.
So there's
we know
nothing really
that.
going on in heaven.
Is there a judgment going on in heaven? Yes or no?
Not
according to Daniel 7.
Not in the dream.
Then you're wrong because it literally says the word judgment, sir. I think you're actually missing this.
Sir.
I watched
Sir.
till thrones were put in place.
That's
And a
in
judgment-
that's in the oh my god, that's in the dream. Are you not listening? That's in the
Is there a
dream.
judgment? Okay, but according to the dream, is there a judgment that's actually happening? Yes or no?
Not in reality. Only in
Then
the
what
dream.
is it if it's not? Okay, what does
Now-
what does the judgment
I'll
symbolize
tell you,
then?
it symbolizes God being dominant after he establishes his kingdom, after the oppression of his people. Now judgment is being executed. The people have been
Right.
oppressed. My people have been oppressed for all this time. But now I'm sending my own kingdom. I'm establishing my own kingdom. I'm giving authority and dominion to the saints of the Most High.
Yeah,
That's what's going on.
yeah, exactly. That's a judgment.
Yeah, so there's not a literal judgment going on in heaven, right?
No, I believe there is because see, this is what you're not understanding though. In
Get the hell off.
In Daniel
get
8.
the hell off my panel. Get the hell off my panel. You are probably the slowest person I've ever spoken to, dude. Holy crap. Holy crap, bro. Get the hell off my panel, dude. Lord have mercy. What a slowpoke. My goodness. Dude, that was a roller coaster, man. I literally lost brain cells, dude. I literally lost brain cells doing that. Anyways, guys, it's damn near midnight. So, you know what that means. Yeah, I don't know why I've been itching my nose so much. Like, what's going on? It's like red. Itches so much it became red. I look like a clown. Anyways, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't already. Follow me if you haven't. Turn on post notifications and live notifications so you're notified whenever I post and whenever I go live. And I will see you guys in the next live stream. Thank you so much, and good night, everybody. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.